does getting a master's matter when it comes to finding work or finding jobs?
I think it's a combination of like experience and schooling. So your master's will go well if you don't have any experience in the industry and you want to get your master's. It just shows like work ethic, like, oh, you're really invested in this field and you want to know what's going on because you're getting your master's. So that kind of gives you an edge. But I mean, the cream on the crop is working. Like nothing replaces experience. Like all the programs that I had to write, all the algorithms I had to solve during college and stuff like that, you don't get too much. I think it's like world word application. So you're learning how to solve an algorithm, but you don't know how to, I guess, use it within an application or something you're developing. And then you don't really get that experience until you start working.
Okay, so would you say experience like trumps everything?
Yeah. And I guess mentally, yeah, so you can perform. But I mean, you're not going to get the opportunity unless you have that degree. Like you'll hear like a lot of companies that say like, oh, you don't need a degree if you have like experience. We're interviewed. I very rarely meet people who don't have a degree in computer science or computer engineering who's developing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen too often.
Gotcha. So are you guaranteed a job and are you guaranteed money after you graduate? Let's say not even masters.
Yeah,
Just
I definitely
straight out the
say
gate.
I wouldn't say guaranteed a job. Straight out the gate in undergrad, I had a good time in college. Like I was turning up, I was partying, I was working. So my studies weren't like grade A. So I ended up graduating with like a 2.8. But in my head, I'm thinking, what? I'm a computer engineer. I'm a minority. Somebody's gonna need to pick me up, bro. You don't meet too many black engineers or like any type of minority engineer. So that was my logic. That was what I was thinking. Like as long as I graduate, I'll be good. Then I started going to interviews and like, man, these dudes is really pressing me. Like they want to know what I know and how to apply it because I mean, this is complex algorithms that you're doing on like a daily basis and they're gonna pay you for it. So it's just like they want to make sure your output is good, and it's not always like hard. Don't get me wrong. Like there's times where it's really intense and you're stressing out. But a lot of times it's laid back. Like it's a cycle. Sometimes like any other job, certain quarters you're going hard, other quarters you could take a little bit off. But they just want to make sure you know what you can do.
Okay. Wait, so are you guaranteed money though? As soon as you graduate, are you guaranteed a
If you
spot?
get the job, yeah, you're guaranteed a nice amount of loot when you graduate. But
You're not looking at like, oh, I'm making 40,000 a year and I'm probably
nah. Like if like let's say for instance, if you do what you're supposed to do in college, and you're focused and you know your craft, yeah, out the gate you're gonna be making at least 70,
okay.
60 for like lower end jobs, like smaller companies. But when I went up to the Bay, that was my first job up there.
Where were you working at?
This company called Ellie Mae, they started you off about like I think it was 77.
Okay.
So, and I
Nice.
didn't have any experience at that time, so just lucked out.
Oh yeah, I figured like the companies up north, over in that area, they would pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
But then how much were you paying for rent?
Oh, me too. Well, I lucked out. Like while I was in the Bay, I had like six roommates. It was literally like that's how it is out there, man. Stuff's so expensive. Everybody just crams into like an apartment or a house.
Okay. And how much were you paying for rent?
Me for the room, I had 5 roommates. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Oh shit.
But I was paying like 800 for the room,
Oh shit.
and it was
Okay.
like in the hood, like it's Hayward, like it wasn't
Yeah.
like a fancy part of, the Bay. Like
Yeah.
my car got broken into.
Okay, so that's still pretty good. You're paying 800 a month for rent, and
yeah.
you're making good money
Yeah,
out the gate. Okay.
Yeah, so I was just stacking.
And
while I
how
was
old
out
were
there.
you?
24,
Okay.
24, 25.
Cool. Right
Yeah.
on. Okay.